It says in the Ethics of Our Fathers that the world stands on three things. It stands on Torah, on mitzvah observance. It stands on prayer, and it stands on acts of kindness. In this week's Torah portion, Mikeitz, we learn about Joseph. Joseph is in the jails of Egypt. And in the blink of an eye, he's plucked out of that dark, deep dungeon, and he's elevated to Pharaoh. He interprets Pharaoh's dreams in a way that Pharaoh agrees. And Pharaoh then puts him in charge, second in command to Pharaoh in the land of Egypt. He went from the darkest, deepest dungeons to the second in command of the land of Egypt. How did that happen? Joseph knows from the get-go that everything that happened to him is divinely orchestrated, that God is involved in his life every step along the way, from the moment that he got thrown into the pit, then he got sold to slavery, and he interprets the dreams. He all the time recognizes God's involvement and God's connection and God's embrace of him throughout everything he went through, the ups and the downs. Chanukah is a story where we may think that the main miracle is the flask of oil that the Jews found in the desecrated temple when they went in to reclaim it. They found a little flask, one flask of untainted oil, which was enough oil for one day. And it was a big miracle that lasted for 8 days, and we celebrate that. What we're also celebrating is the victory of the few against the mighty, that the small ragtag Maccabees were able to defeat the huge Syrian army. How did that happen? It happened because God made it happen. God was involved. God was taking care of those people and making sure that they won. On Passover at the Seder, we recount that in every generation there are people out to kill us. And yet God promises that we will survive and that we will thrive. How do we thrive? We thrive by connecting to the three things I mentioned at the beginning, through our connection to God, through Torah, through our mitzvah observance, through prayer, and through acts of kindness. On Chanukah, we light a candle, or we light the oil. But what we're really doing is we're lighting up our soul. It says in Proverbs that the soul of man is the candle of God, that our soul is what we're lighting up. We're symbolically lighting a candle, but we're lighting up our soul. And how do we light up our soul? How do we connect our soul to what it's here to do? By plugging ourselves in to Torah and mitzvahs and prayer and acts of kindness. When we do those things as connectors, we are going to wake up and shine our soul into the world with spiritual divine energy. Darkness is the absence of light. Evil is the absence of goodness. It is our job to wake up our wick, to bring out our soul, to shed spiritual, holy, godly light into the world so we can dispel all the darkness and all the evil that's all around us.